Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Meets Vodka. I'm your host, Raya, and I'm handling life one shot at a time. Sit back, relax, let's talk all things pop culture, celebrities, gossip, trends, and let's become best friends. What? I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So glad you're here. I just want to say thank you so much for the support. If you guys want to be shouted out on the show as a supporter, as an avid supporter of Coffee Meets Vodka podcast, feel free to go to the link in my Instagram bio on my link tree. There is a button to where you can donate to support the show. Any donation would help. You can go ahead and put in a custom amount, or you can pick from one of the ones that are already there. Once your donation is there, I'll get an email, and weekly I will shout out the supporters of the show. Literally, truly, it means so much to me and so much to my team that you guys are loving the content that we post. It is another full-time job, just keeping up with the Joneses on top of our other full-time jobs. So we really do appreciate, and obviously that money goes back to pouring into the show to make it even better than we can, to get a different space, to, get better equipment, to bring on guests, everything like that. So that is super amazing. I would love if you guys could do that. And again, that's just a way for our audience to interact with the show. We had a little conundrum in the studio this morning. Taylea left her bag on the couch, which I feel like she should know better by now. I'm throwing you under the bus. I'm just kidding. The reason why I didn't bring Penny to daycare this morning is because it's going around that dog RSV disease or something. It's like a different respiratory. She's updated on all of her shots and her influenza and like all this stuff, but I don't want to risk it. So I didn't take her to daycare this year. Not that the daycare is bad. It's just like the vets are saying that they don't know like what is causing it, and I don't want anything to put my little pen in jeopardy. So that's why she's here in the studio today. Well, Taylea comes over and she leaves her bag on the couch, which normally for anybody else in the world, it should be okay. But excuse me, this is Penelope's home, and we all walk on eggshells. And so we were catching up. I was getting ready, and Miss Penelope took it upon herself to go fishing in Taylor's bag, got her sandwich, her breakfast sandwich, and took it into her cave of a house and would not let anybody take it from her. So that was a little bit of a conundrum. I had to calm her down to get the sandwich out, and then I made Taylea breakfast. Well, she kind of made it herself, but with my food. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I felt so bad, and that is the life of a special needs dog parent. She's never been like diagnosed quote with special needs, but I feel like if you know her, like there's definitely something off and a little abnormal. So it just takes a little bit of patience, a little extra love. And Taylea said I'm a saint, and I am a saint. So if I lose my shit on you, it's because I'm dealing with things at home that are abnormal. Okay, so it's warranted. No, I'm just kidding, but we love her. Oh, by the way, if any time I'm gonna spend $100, even $200, I'll go up to $200. It's gonna be spending on a pet psychic from TikTok to tell me what the fuck is wrong with my dog. I really do think that I should do like a pet exorcist. So if anybody knows one, let me know. I will post an old video of Penelope going crazy when I came home drunk from the bar, and I really didn't give a fuck. And people are like, oh, it's how you get your face bit off. Well, she didn't, because I know my dog, but she was being a little cuckoo, a little chatty. So, on one hand, she's very chatty like her mom. And then on the other, she definitely has a temper issue. And so that's something that, I've definitely tried to work on over the years. Luckily, nothing's ever come of it. She's never been aggressive towards anybody else but me. And by me, I just mean outbursts, nothing physically aggressive or anything like that, which is great. But it does worry me for the future. So we are trying to work on it and work on some training and just try to get her anxiety down and some boundaries. So if anybody has any dog tips, Cesar Millan, I would be the perfect case for you. I know the show isn't on anymore, but like truly the absolute perfect case would be Miss Penelope Rose. But look, she's a little quirky, and sometimes you just have to let people and dogs do their own thing, and sometimes they are just the way that they are. I'm not saying I condone it, but It is what it is. We learn to roll with the punches around here. So that really woke our ass up this morning. That's, to say the least. That's all for my updates. I didn't do much this weekend. Let's get into the stories. We have a lot to go over. We have a Cassie and Diddy lawsuit, which I think is a little weird foreshadowing because I kind of mentioned Diddy on the pod last week, if you were listening. And then, update on the NHL hockey player, Adam Johnson, and The Crown. I watched The Crown and also Selling Sunset reunion. So let's get into it. Matt Petgrave is under investigation and arrested for the cutting of Adam Johnson's throat with a blade during the game. I mean, honestly, who cares what I think? It's so sad about what happened. I think it's such a freak accident, but also apparently after doing further research that this man has been doing this, has been caught doing this in the past. So I'm glad that he's under investigation and hopefully they come to a resolve. And I hope that NHL has, proper steps in place going forward so this doesn't happen to any other hockey player. My heart goes out to his fiance and his family. I think it's such a tragedy what happened and really, really, really sad. I hope there's justice involved. Also in other news, Chris Appleton and Lucas Gage are getting a divorce. Apparently they filed for divorce one day after their episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians aired. I don't watch Keeping Up, but their wedding episode just aired and the next day they filed for divorce. Apparently Lucas, I want to make sure I quote this right, but apparently what I believe I read is that Lucas Gage was like cheating. Hold on, let me look it up. This is coming from Us Weekly. Sources claim infidelity was the cause of Chris Appleton and Lucas Gage split. It's not amicable, and apparently Lucas cheated on Chris. Chris found out, pop-ups. Lucas cheated on Chris, and Chris found out over the weekend. A source exclusively tells Us Weekly that's the reason Chris filed. Insider adds they were never in an open relationship. Well, I'm here for not the open relationship, but I mean, that sucks. I feel like, what is the point? I know Kim officiated the wedding in Vegas and they got divorced now 9 months later. So, I mean, that sucks. I don't know if there's really much more to it. We'll see what comes of it. Okay, here's what I will say. The reason why I know who Lucas Gage is not only because he's married and now getting divorced from Chris Appleton, and not only was he in White Lotus, and not only was he in You Season 3, I know him from 2020, 2021, that audition that he went viral on when he was doing a Zoom audition for I don't know what show, and the casting director thought they were on mute, and she was like, this actor in this shitty apartment thinks that he can go blah, 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 and just like ripping him. And he literally, the casting director, a woman, was not on mute. And he goes, hi, I'm Lucas Gage. I heard everything that you said. I would just like to do my shitty audition in my shitty apartment because I worked all day on this or all week on this, whatever he said. So please, if you could let me perform my monologue, that would be great. The way that I would have simply passed away and not been able to perform my audition, there's absolutely no way via Zoom, and having hearing the casting director not talk shit about me and not be open to even my art or even anything that I spent my time on, because your mind is already made up about who you're gonna cast. That was so shitty. The way that I got second, third, fourth, fifth hand embarrassment for Lucas, and he handled that like such a pro, will forever be so admirable in my book. I, for one, always bomb auditions, which is why I think I'm where I'm at. It's okay. We have made our own path now. But no, the way that I would need so much therapy if that were to happen to me, there's no way. And I am somebody who can handle rejection pretty well in real life, in business, in art, that's fine. But for somebody to completely rip me in my own home during a pandemic via Zoom, who's trying to hire me, who I'm interviewing for the quote job for, I would simply pass away right then and there. There's absolutely no way. I would pretend that we got disconnected, There's no way. So Lucas Gage will forever be an amazing actor in my book. Well, not only because he is an amazing actor, great in You, great in White Lotus, but also the way that he carries himself and handled that professionally. I just feel like truly, 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 truly speaks volumes, because there's no way that I could be able to do that. Sorry, I don't mean to go on. I just thought that was like so admirable. So that's how I know who Lucas Gage is. And obviously I know Chris Appleton from doing Kim Kardashian's hair, and also doing, remember the TikTok clip that was going around, because I don't watch the Kardashians, how he was just simply gluing the track down on the top of her head for the blonde. If you don't know, you should go look it up. But he was just really just like gluing it down on literal the top of her head, not sewing it, not like, and he was gluing down wefts, not even like tape ins. Like he was gluing like a weft, and he was like, "This will do." Celebs, they're just like us. So, oh, did you guys see that video going around by Carly Waddell about, she's from Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise? If you don't know, she was married to Evan Bass. She premiered on the 9th season of The Bachelorette. Really? Only the 9th season? They have like 31 seasons. The Bachelorette only has 9 seasons? Okay, that's interesting. First of all, I want to say that she looks nothing like she did when she first started. I guess that has, it's not good nor bad. Just a reminder that you're not ugly, you're just poor. Second of all, she married Evan Bass, who was an ED doctor, erectile dysfunction doctor. I always liked Evan. I thought that he was sweet. I thought Carly was sweet. I don't know. I don't really watch The Bachelor in Paradise. I only watch it for my friend that was on it. And I kind of saw this season. I think Evan was on JoJo's season, if I'm not mistaken. For whatever reason, that was the only season of The Bachelorette that I watched from start to end. Anyways, I thought they were cute together, but apparently now they're divorced. Apparently Carly went to high school with Lady Gaga, formerly known as Stephanie. Oh, no fucking way I can say her last name. Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanota? Germanota? Okay, we're gonna go with Lady Gaga. Anyways, apparently Carly went to high school with Lady Gaga, and she said that every day at lunch, Lady Gaga, instead of eating, would go to the piano. It's so funny because I also remember vividly like a piano just chilling on the stage of my high school cafeteria. And what is that? But anyways, Lady Gaga would just go to the piano during her lunch at high school and just start playing the piano and belting out. You would too if you were good, and you would too if the piano was free. I'm not trying to pay for piano lessons all the time like a bitch needs to practice. You know what I mean? It's also getting over the stage fright. It's also giving Two Girl circa 1997. I don't know when they were in high school, but I mean, look, I kind of get Carly's perspective about saying like, oh, this girl at lunch was like always like annoying, just like singing, even though she was good and like Carly wanted to eat her sandwich in peace, but like also she was good. And like here you are in The Bachelor, and here she is like a Emmy, not like a bunch of Grammys, Emmys. I made that up. Oscars, probably made that up, but she deserves it for A Star Is Born. I think she got an Oscar. And here you are just on The Bachelor trying to milk it. So I don't know. I mean, haters gonna hate, but I thought that was interesting that they both went to the same high school. Also, in other Bachelor news, Blake from Bachelor or Bachelorette and Gianna from Love Is Blind are expecting a baby. By the way, I didn't realize that she had 1.3 million followers. I mean, get your coin, girl. Get that bag. I like this match way better for her than Damien. He was so hot ugly. Like, like he was only, I never thought he was hot, but he was only quote hot because he was on the show, but like really he was so ugly. You really think Francesca is like Damien? There's something between us. Like she played him like a fiddle. She did a crossover on Love Is Blind. She did another, he came back on that, what was that show where they were all in the house that I watched? Not The Ultimatum. The other one where they were like all in the house and it was like Love Is Blind, Too Hot to Handle, Love Island. Oh, the perfect match. And she was all trying to say, like, she really played that. She won. She literally got down to the last round and was like, okay, guys, I'm out. I didn't find a match. Like, she really played that good because I don't think there was really any money involved. And it was just like actually finding like a match. So she was like, no, I don't really want a match. But she was like convincing Damien that there was still something between us. And I don't know, maybe he was playing the game too, but he looked really played in my opinion. And like, sorry, he's not hot. So I'm really glad that Gianna upgraded to Blake. So we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but I'm happy for them. And I really love, I'm looking right now. I really love oh wait, it's not Gianna. It's Gianni. Giannina. Yeah, Giannina. Girl, I'm sorry, I can't say your name, but you know who I'm talking about. I love her aesthetic actually. And she really came on Love is Blind with a plan. And that's what I like. I like a woman with a plan. And you know what else? She really stayed with Damien for like 3 years. I think she really did like that guy.
Must have. Yeah,
unless she was really holding out and they were like, oh, the reunion. And then after the altar, maybe she really like had hindsight, but I don't know. Good for her. I'm happy for them. So that's good. Let's see. You guys, you had to have seen this. It's all over the internet everywhere. Did y'all see Enrique Iglesias humping the floor? It's something I wish I could unsee. Yeah, the singing was atrocious. The humping of the floor was atrocious. I just feel like it was what nightmares are made of. And I mean, justice for Anna Kournikova, who has stuck with him for like 20 years. She loves that man. They're down bad for each other. And I love that, I guess. You know, if you love it, I like it. You know, or if you like it, I love it. Whatever the saying is. But it's a song?
His song.
What? By the way, I had to buy 30 doll hairs of extra storage because I somehow ran out of storage on my phone. I find that hard to believe, but whatever. And I already buy the $2.99 gigabytes for 2 terabytes or 1 terabyte, whatever, on the iCloud, which I'm not like an iClouder, but anyways. And I ran out. How the fuck did I run out of storage? And now you're, instead of, you went from $2.99 to $22? That's crazy. I'm going to have to call corporate about that because that is definitely a steal. And I have yet to, so I did it when I was drunk because I was like, oh, let's just, you know, let's play this game. Oh, by the way, on my date this weekend, I made him play When You Know the Words to the Song, Sing Along, Sing Along. And he passed with flying colors. He was really good at it. And I might post it, you know, if it goes anywhere or even if it's just funny. But did you find the song?
No, my phone. I have to restart my phone.
Oh, okay, cool. We love technology over here. But so then I was like, oh my God, I wasn't done with my 4th round. Because, you know, I'm like a dog. Like, once I'm like on a track, I'm just like, again. It's giving hyperfixation. So I was like, oh, just buy the storage and we'll play one more round. Did I need to play another round and spend $22 for that round? No, I didn't. Have I yet to cancel? No, I haven't. So, also, I know that I said last weekend that I would watch a Shein doc, and I didn't have time this weekend because I got, I had like a blood pressure spell, apparently. I don't know if it was true or not, but I feel like my blood pressure rose and I was like down for the count for like 24 hours and I had to sleep it off. It was like really bad and kind of scary. So I didn't really have time to do much, and I wasn't feeling well, but now I'm feeling better. So I'm going to watch it this week for next week's episode. Sorry about that. One Love.
No, I like it.
Yeah, it's giving 2010. No, I like it. Oh. Yeah, you're right. You like it. I'm not as jamming.
That's what it was like when you sound like.
I like it. I love it. Oh, yeah.
I was like, no, baby, I like it.
Baby, I like it. The fact that I've heard, and this is alleged, that Enrique Iglesias is like the #1 small dick in Hollywood. Yeah, I will. There's so much to discuss. Okay, hold on. Let me talk about the blood pressure. Okay, some of you guys were asking me, one person in the studio, was asking me about why my blood pressure rose. Let me tell you why my blood pressure rose. I have an assigned parking spot, okay? And I really, really hate, and there's limited parking. I really hate when people park in my spot. And I tell you, it happens multiple times, sometimes multiple times in a week, sometimes multiple times in a month. It is a very, very frequent that this happens. And this week, it happened 2 times back to back. I was coming home from getting Hot Bagel, and I tell you, every time I go to Hot Bagel, it's like every time I come back, it's like bad vibes. But like, not that Hot Bagel is bad vibes, but for whatever reason, something bad always happens. So I'm coming back and I'm trying to park in my spot, and lo and behold, there's some fucker in my spot. And nothing enrages me more. I mean, no, hold on, wait. I'm getting blackout. I'm seeing stars. I'm not even kidding. Nothing like... No, but I just need to tell this story not so amped because it really is going to make my blood boil. So I'm telling you the story is really dramatic, but I'm going to have to look away because like it's going to round me up. It's going to round me. I have road rage. Long story short, this guy was in my spot and I said, "You're in my spot. You don't live here. Get the fuck out. You don't need to park there." I mean, what? Like this literally happens to me almost daily. I'm not kidding. It happened to me twice back to back. That guy said, "Oh, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, bitch. What are you going to do about it?" I said, "Well, I'm going to call the cops now because you just like are being crazy and I feel threatened in my own home." Long story short, the cops finally come. They were laughing and the cops finally came, which they usually don't come. That's a different story. They diffuse the situation, but I just feel like if I were a man and or if I had a man in the car with me, no way that guy would have reacted that way. Like, no way this guy would have sat here and be like, "What the fuck you gonna do about it, bro?" Bro would have probably like started a fight. I mean, no one that like I dated, but I just feel like that's what women have to deal with on the daily is like not being taken serious. And it's like, you're in the wrong. So you're getting defensive when you're in the wrong, but you're telling me what the fuck I'm gonna do about it. Well, I'm going to defend myself, which is unfortunate that a man who is way taller than me and way bigger than me is going to react to a woman that way. And I just feel like, you know, if I were a man or especially if I had a man with me, none of that situation would have happened. And I would have been taken seriously. And I think that's really unfortunate that the society we live in. And that's why my blood pressure rose, because I went on spiral about a lot of other things and that I'm not going to get into, but I don't know. And people are like, "How do you know your blood pressure rose?" I mean, I don't, but I got a migraine. I got sweaty. I got chills. My cheeks were really flushed. I kind of felt dizzy. I felt nauseous. I was going to pass out. And I slept for 12 hours. So, and then I woke up the next morning fine because I thought it was like, oh, great. Now I'm sick again. And I don't want to be sick. And I just feel like I got really worked up and I like straight up passed out. You never know what people are going through. Okay. Did you guys see that clip? I didn't watch the episode, but did you guys see that clip of Ned's Declassified School Survival Guides podcast? I think it's called Declassified Pod. Hold on. My God, I never have like my notes. Ned's Declassified Podcast Survival Guide Podco? Is that really what it's called? Oh. Okay, original. Anyways, Mose and Ned, apparently Mose was giving BJs to Ned multiple times and they were reminiscing about, well, she brought it up. She was reminiscing about a time where she did that and he goes, "Oh, this time?" And she was like, "No, this time." So it happened multiple times on set at the show that we were watching as children. I honestly, like, I love that for them because weren't we all kind of doing the same thing? I wasn't because I'm a prude, but well, you're too young if you were doing it around, because I think I'm the same age as them. I also kind of thought Ned was always hot. Like, I'm like cute, you know, like, oh, cute. Like, so that's not like the worst. I don't know if it was her first BJ, but that's not like the worst first BJ. Like, there's definitely like worse options. So, but I love that they were doing that between takes. I also wish that I could unhear and unsee that. Like, I didn't need to know. Okay. Unfortunately, Taylor Swift had to postpone one of her concerts for Brazil in Rio because Unfortunately, a fan passed away due to heat exhaustion and dehydration, and how freaking sad. I know she's torn up about it. I mean, her and her team were really proactive about, getting water for everybody on the postponed day and fans and everything like that, and misters, and they turned off the pyrotechnics during the Bad Blood performance. And they were really trying everything that they could. She was passing out water like mid. I know I saw this one where she was doing All Too Well 10-minute version, and she was chunking water at fans. I just know she was torn up about that, and that's really sad that a fellow Swiftie has passed away. We are really praying for her family, and I hope that the stadium can do something in the future so this doesn't happen. Apparently, it was 140 degrees Fahrenheit in Brazil. They're having like a crazy heat wave, and the temperatures were sweltering. Everybody was hyperventilating and passing out. I mean, it's scary for the performers and the crew, and obviously the fans. And also it was GA, so there was no like seats. It was only, the whole stadium was GA, so it was first come first serve. So people were standing out in the stadium like lined up to get in, early in the morning, even sometimes like 24 hours in advance, and they would not drink water and go to the so they wouldn't have to go to the bathroom, so they wouldn't have to lose their spot, and they could specifically get towards like the stage. So that's awful. That's awful. And you know what else? I mean, I was gonna say like wear a diaper, but a lot of people, once I heard this about the New York City, the Times Square ball drop, I was like, I've never wanted to do it anyways. I've never wanted to stand there, but like after hearing this, I never want to do it. People will come from all over, and like also fellow New Yorkers. Well, probably not fellow New Yorkers because they probably have more like wherewithal. So one of my cousins is going this year, and they, the feedback is to go like, when people are like, oh, tips, like what should I do? They're like, wear a diaper because you won't be able to go to the bathroom. What, girl? Okay, but you're gonna pee in it, and then you're gonna sit in it for 12 hours. It's giving diaper rash, it's giving yeast infection, it's giving BV. It's giving UTI as well. I don't know. Couldn't be me. I'll just watch it on TV. That's the point. I'm not like a really big like concert goer because there's like nowhere to sit and people are standing, and I'm not into the crowds, and like I'm not really down to do Times Square. Like I'll just watch it on TV for free, and I'll listen to the commentary, and I'll watch Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen get drunk, and which apparently is banned, but we're trying to bring it back this year, and have a gay old time. Like I don't need to be in the crowd for 12 hours to watch a 30-second ball drop. Like I'm good. So Taylea was saying that she went to a G-Eazy concert in California, which I feel like we went to the same concert but not the same location, because I know which one you're talking about. Was it? Well, it's his last one.
It was in LA.
Yeah. It was the one when I moved to LA, and then it was like sold out. I don't know why I said 2019. I meant 2015. But I think it was like 2016 because I went in February. She said that when she went, the LA one was sold out, and this girl didn't want to lose her spot because it was general admission, and she was like drunk as fuck, and she said that she just started peeing. She was like pressed up against the gate like of the stage, and she just started peeing, and then the security like picked her up, and like Taylea did this motion, so I'm like, was she spray peeing everywhere?
No.
Was she just spraying the audience? She finished peeing but the security guard picked her up and threw her out. Probably not like just picked her up and threw her out, but like picked her up and then like, told her to leave and chunked her out. And then she said that there was like a huge puddle, which also reminds me, that's so crazy. Somebody like peed in front of you, because did I ever tell you about the story when I went to the Virgin Islands, love of my life, and this girl peed next to me on the plane? No, you guys, this story, the most wild thing you've ever heard in your entire life. I gotta set the scene. This is a long but really good story, and I don't need to leave any holes. Let me tell you. My girlfriend asked me if I want to go to the Virgin Islands March of 2022. I said, oh, fuck yeah, say less. literally, not the point of the story, heaven on earth. I love that place, fell in love. Truly no other place on this earth quite like that place. Now, she lives in Boston. I've mentioned her on the last podcast. We travel a lot together. She lives in Boston. And so we were like meeting in St. John. Well, actually you fly into St. Thomas, but we were meeting in St. Thomas together, taking a ferry to St. John. Okay, so let me tell you. So I'm over here booking my flight on United, so excited, getting ready to go. I'm at the airport by myself. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm so excited. I'm in my airport fit, which I'll never meet a man at the airport, just much like I'll never meet a man at the grocery store because I look crazy. So, oh my God, I also get so lucky on the plane. I thought this was like such a dream. I get lucky on the plane. I never buy my seat because that's extra money how the airport gets you or the airline gets you. But I did get I got assigned on United the window seat and the extra legroom for free, right behind first class or business class, whatever they had. Okay. And I love that for me. So I was like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm like, oh, so comfy on like my vacation. And it was at a time where I really needed a vacation, right? So you're like, oh my God, wow, things are really working out. Well, I'm like kind of first to get on or whatever. And this girl gets on and so it's me and then an empty seat, the middle seat. And then she sits on the aisle seat in the front row. And I got to set the scene. There's a family next to me on the other side of the aisle. So it's a mom, dad, a child who's like definitely under one, and the grandma. And the baby doesn't have like a seat because you don't really like need a seat as a child. And they get the extra, room that the baby is crawling around. I need to preface this. The baby's crawling around all like, it's a 4-hour flight. The baby's crawling around. They're playing with the baby. They're not paying attention. I'm telling you that when I say this plane is like busy, this plane is busy. Now, let me tell you, we're about to take off and the girl asked one of the flight attendants, she said, hi, can I go to the restroom? She said, oh, just wait till we get in the air and the captain turns off the seatbelt sign and then you can go. Well, anybody knows that if it's an emergency, you surely can go to the restroom. Much like the person who got diarrhea on Delta. Like, you need to tell them that it's an emergency and you're about to shit your pants. Like, I feel like that's happened to everybody. It's happened to me multiple times. Not truly that scenario on the plane, but just in general, as an IBS girly, as a hot girl with stomach issues, it happens, okay? So if it was an emergency, she needed to say so. She gets on the plane with a clear cup about this big. I think it was like 10 or 12 ounces of a Long Island iced tea with a big ass lemon wedge, like the biggest lemon wedge I've ever seen in my life in the tea. This is an important part of the story. So she asked the flight attendant, hey, I need to go to the restroom. Flight attendant's like, oh, like, really nice, really nice. Not like, oh, you need to sit down. Like, really nice. She was like, oh, just wait till the captain turns off the seatbelt sign and like, then you can go. And she's like, okay. She doesn't say anything else. I'm happily minding myself out, minding my business out of the window, looking at takeoff, trying to get the movie situation going. Like, I'm just in my own little world. And I see out of the corner of my eye, this girl keep fidgeting. And I'm like, I'm trying to look out of the corner of my eye because like the way that it would look so obvious if it's like me, no one's in the seat, and then her. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like I can't be all... I just feel like nobody else noticed except for me. And why do I always notice things? So she's like fidgeting and I see her and I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Like in my head, I'm like, is she okay? And then I see her go like this. And I like a part of me, dude, I almost acted out so quickly because I thought she had passed out. Like I thought she was like, afraid to fly. And I'm not really like a chatty plane person. It depends on the time. It depends on the time. Like lately, I feel like a lot of people have been talking to me on the plane and I'll talk back. But like, I do want to know who I'm sitting next to in case the bitch goes down. I need to know, okay, your name's Amy, my sister in Christ. Like, let's hold hands. You know what I mean? Like, I need to know who I'm next to on the plane. Okay. So I didn't like talk to her. Her energy wasn't really open. And but I got scared because I thought she had passed out because the way that she like went limp. Bitch, tell me why she was grabbing her drink underneath her seat. And I said, oh, okay, she's just grabbing her drink under her seat. And then I'm like, oh, okay, she's fine, she's fine. And then I'm like looking out the window still, and I'm just seeing her like fidget out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, what is going on? Bitch, mind you, she's in the aisle front row. She's in the aisle front row. This bitch pulls down her pants to her knees. She's wearing leggings. And she pulls down her pants to her knees and she's wearing a gray underwear. And she pulls her underwear to her side and she grabs her cup and she puts the cup under her, to where, as if like women know this, if you're getting a urine sample, you're on the toilet and you have to go frontwards or something like that, you have to collect the urine. She was getting a motherfucking pee sample in her Long Island iced tea. And I tell you, she this too. Then she puts it under her, like herself, and she's leaning on her armrest like this. And she's just peeing. She's leaning on her armrest. And then she pulls it out and she puts it under her seat again. Oh my God, this bitch was so full. And it did not have a lid. It didn't have a lid. And I tell you, dude, I swear. And then she pulls up her pants and I'm like, oh my God, I'm watching this happen. And like, I'm not just out of the corner of my eye because I'm like, I'm seeing it happen out of the corner of my eye. And then I'm like kind of turn to where I get a good angle, not like, super obvious. But I was like, oh my God, is she peeing? Is that her? Why do I know what kind of underwear she's wearing? She's wearing a gray thong. Why do I know that? Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, is nobody else seeing this? I'm freaking the fuck out. Bitch, I called the flight attendant. I said, what's the Wi-Fi? Why can't I figure out the Wi-Fi? Because I have one drink and I'm not a drinker, especially I'm not a plain drinker because it gets me like really blackout because of the altitude and whatever. Not really, but like it gets me like pretty drunk. So I'm like freaking out. And also actually maybe I don't have a drink. I just get severe anxiety because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I asked the flight attendant and I'm like, what's the Wi-Fi? She goes, oh, you don't really want to pay for the Wi-Fi because it's not worth it. When we go over the ocean, it will lose service. So really, like, it's not worth it. And I'm like, oh, it's worth it. I'll pay the $8. She goes, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, this is how you get to it. Because I was like freaking out. I tell you, as soon as she puts that cup down, the captain comes on, folks, we're putting on our seatbelts because we're having severe turbulence. Just go ahead and stay calm and stay in your seats, blah, blah, blah. I lost my mind. Severe turbulence with a full cup of pee right under the seat. All I need is a little bump for that shit to spill. And the baby is crawling and the baby like crossed the aisle. And I was like clenching my ass so hard. I was trying to tell the parents, I was like, no, don't come over here because all I need is also the baby to put its hands in the cup of piss. And then one spill it over and then the baby has piss on its hand from a stranger. And then all hell will break loose. And I just want to know also why planes are still carpeted. Like, we need some like laminate in that bitch. Anyways, I was losing my mind. I was texting a group chat and I was like, you guys, what do I do? I'm Instagramming the whole thing. I'm posting stories. I don't care if they're posting or not. I'm freaking out. Everybody's DMing me. They're like, what is going on? I kid you not. So then I'm like, they're like, you need to go tell the flight attendant. And I was like, okay, yeah. Let me muster up the strength. This is, what felt like an hour, it probably only was like 30 minutes. I felt like an hour had gone by. I get up because now they're passing out snacks and stuff. And I'm like, so when the flight attendant comes by, the same one who told her to, wait until the captain turned off the seatbelt sign to go to the restroom. And I'm like looking at her and she's like, and I'm like, and she's like, and I was like, I'm trying to tell her the story with my eyeballs. And so I get up and I was like, okay, I'm going to go. But then I was like, I don't want to make it obvious because like the girl is there. And then it's like, I was by myself. I don't know. I feel like a normal, I felt so like I lost my voice. Like I like fight or flight. I definitely froze. Like I definitely fucking froze. Had that been a man and the dick would be out, I mean, because that's happened on planes before, I would react the same way. I mean, I just think that's a weird situation. Plus, I have 2.5 more hours with this girl and I'm going to my destination. We're going to the same place. What if I saw her randomly on the beach or whatever and that she like wanted to fight me? Like, you never know. Like, people are unhinged. So I finally muster up the strength and I go to the flight attendant. Oh, wait, I missed this part. So then she was coming around she was doing the snacks. And then the girl handed her the full cup of liquid. And that's why I looked at the girl, because I was like, you know that I know that you saw that cup was a quarter of a way full and now it's all of a sudden full. And she was like, no. No, I know that this cup wasn't full when she boarded the plane, because we all saw it, because we were like, that was a big lemon wedge. Like, I swear, just, anyways. So she was like, that's weird. And so like when she came back, I was like, yeah. Like, oh my God. So then I mustered up the strength to get up and I said, okay, I don't want you to react. And she's like, what? I said, that cup that you just threw away was a cup of piss. And she literally turned around. She said, shut up. I said, no, I swear on God. And she goes, dude, I thought that was so weird that because I knew it wasn't full when she boarded. And now all of a sudden when I threw it away, it was full. And she was like, and I was like, yeah, like she literally pulled down her pants in the chair on an aisle seat and pissed in the cup and no one saw her but me. And she said, shut up. And I said, you can't tell anyone because I'm so scared because like, this would be different for like going back home, but like we're going to the vacation and people are crazy on the planes for the safety of everybody else. Like, I don't want to make it a big deal. And she goes, no, okay, totally. This bitch gossiped so hard. She told her, okay, first of all, in her defense, there's only 3 flight attendants. So she tells her, like, she doesn't tell him right away, but she tells her work bestie, flight bestie, in-flight bestie, you do have to, like, legally you have to. And then he's like, oh my God, we have to tell the flight manager because if she doesn't know and something happens, that's a liability, like protocol, like we have to tell her. So oh my God. Then, I mean, this is going on hours. Like, so it's a 4-hour flight. We're about an hour and a half in. I'm not even kidding. So we spent 3.5 hours with this whole drama. And I got to tell you what a juicy flight it was. Then she tells the flight manager, and the flight manager, tells the captain. And not only does she tell the captain, when we're getting off the plane and they're like, oh my God, the other flight attendants are like, oh my God, what can we do? Here's like a fuck ton of alcohol. I'm like, oh, this is so great. You know what? I still have the alcohol, some little shots of Fireball. I really don't drink that much. I still have some of the shots of Fireball that they gave me from the flight because it's like #memory. But, so when we're getting off the plane and now I'm like I'm amped up on this gossip that I, have been fueling for 4 hours. I'm amped up in the group chat. I'm a little buzzed because they did give me some free alcohol. I'm watching some shows. I'm freaking out. I'm like writing my Instagram stories. People are responding. And I really was like living for this content. So the flight manager gets wind of this. She comes over immediately to the girl that happened. And she goes, ma'am, are you wearing gray underwear? Immediately. Are you wearing a gray thong? And she was like, no, I'm not. She goes, well, why does somebody on this plane know what kind of underwear you're wearing? Did you pee in the seat? Like, just direct. And honestly, like, I love her for it because, like, way to look out for the passengers. She says no, and she goes, come with me. So she picks her up and she goes, you come with me. So she tells the girl to go to her, and they're like talking in the little like aisle where, they get the food and stuff. And then she goes and sits back down. She's like, okay, I'll have to figure out what to do with you. So then when we're exiting the plane, she goes, the girl like gets off because I guess she, whatever. The flight attendant manager goes, here she is right here, and like points at me, and she goes, you step aside. And I was like, oh my God, like, am I in trouble? And I was like, no way, I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? She tells the captain comes out of the cockpit. I mean, I've never seen him so worried. He flings the door open and he's like, oh my God, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I just want to apologize so much. Like, she's on a, just because we didn't physically see it, we can't charge her for sexual assault because in the air that is sexual assault. You can't be nude or any sort of or anything like that for sexual assault in the air, like that's a flying regulation. You can't send nudes because you think it's funny via airdrop, like whatever. It's all sexual assault. He's like, we have noted that in her file. If she ever tries to book a United flight for her lifetime, it's going to pop up every time. And should she do this again on a flight, she will be banned from United for the rest of her life. But you know what? It didn't happen. I didn't get any free points. I didn't get upgraded to first class. I didn't get any of that. I just got free alcohol. I'm not much of a drinker, but I wasn't going, people are like, you weren't enough of a Karen. I feel like in that moment, I definitely should have been, but I feel like it's so weird when you are in the moment because like I said, I froze and I was by myself and you never know what people are capable of. I didn't want to ruin the flight for everybody else. I didn't want to make like an emergency stop, even though she was in the wrong. And I feel like that's me dulling my experience and like making myself small. But I didn't necessarily feel threatened in that moment, right? Had that been a guy, I have no idea what the fuck I would have done. And I think it's crazy. And that's exactly what the captain said. He brought up, like, if that were a guy, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Guys are whipping out their junk just on the plane. I mean, I didn't even think about that. So in that moment, I felt that United did take care of the situation and, it is what it is. It's kind of a funny story going forward and it's one for the books. And, I didn't disrupt anybody's flight and it was all good. We all got there safely and we all got back safely. So it's just one of those things that are for the books. But how wild is that? Okay, I want to talk about the Diddy versus Cassie lawsuit. And there's a lot to go over. There's 35 counts that she had against him, that she filed against him. I'm not going to go over everything because one, we don't know that much, but two, it's just like a sensitive topic. They did settle within 24 hours. I was discussing this with a friend and they think that Cassie got more than the $30 million that she requested. I thought that was an interesting take. So we'll see. Hopefully it does come out. I don't know. So I'm sure the sleuths on TikTok will find it. But she met Diddy when she was 19. He was 37. Diddy is this big Hollywood mogul. He has Bad Boy Production or Bad Boy label. And also Aubrey O'Day came out when Cassie came out. She was going on a couple podcasts recently saying like, well, like I never did anything. That's why I got fired and like all this stuff. So, she claimed that she was sexually assaulted. She was beaten. She was manipulated. She was drugged. She was sex trafficked. She was raped. And, it's so sad that she was in that position and, he was paying for her lifestyle and they were allegedly, like, I'm using quote dating because when somebody has that much power over you and that much control over your career, your lifestyle, your person, I feel like it's really hard to say that you were like really dating them. But, she was with him for 10 years and she says that she has a new lease on life with her child and her marriage and that she has a lot of residual effects from the substance abuse and the alcohol abuse addiction, and that she, it's like an everyday struggle for her. She was on opioids. She was on, I think she was taking Quaaludes, they said at one point, and which, it's very like you can't get. So I'm sure they're like old from the 90s, but I know that people can. I mean, Hugh Hefner was like getting them too, like in the early 2000s when they were like still banned. But, I think that this is a very sad situation to be in. And I'm glad that Cassie feels justified, hopefully, in her settlement. And I hope that this is a step towards healing. And I just hope that she can put this all behind her. And I know this is way more common in the entertainment industry than anybody likes to admit, but it is extremely, extremely common. Now I will say, because I thought this was interesting that I left it on a weird note, that I did go to Diddy's house on the last podcast and I said that I would tell that story eventually. And I guess now's the time. So long story short, I met these random guys at a club in when I lived in LA. They were like, it was over Memorial Day weekend, and they asked me and my friend if we wanted to go to G-Eazy's birthday party with them. And we were like, yeah, sure, let's go. Well, that was 2 days later. You know what people say when they're drunk. Do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? Okay, yeah, I'm down. But like, I really am down. Are you down? And so long story short, we do end up going to G-Eazy's birthday party in Malibu. He rents out, I want to say like an Airbnb. He rents out like some huge ass house. Lil Dicky was there. There were strippers there. Who else was there? Drake's dad was there. I have photos of that. And I don't know, so many people were there, like celebrity and not celebrity. It was like a really cool party, very interesting. I was definitely blackout drunk, and this is like one of the only times I've been blackout. Me and my girlfriend went to drag brunch at Hamburger Mary's in WeHo before, and they had like $1 mimosas, and I was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I was like straight up blackout. So luckily, I took a little nap. I had some in and out, and was ready to rally for G-Eazy's party. And I like 5 p.m. me and my friend got ready, and it was at a time where you had the energy, but also like you're not gonna not go to G-Eazy's party regardless of your age, right? So like we ended up going, and then we get pulled in this back room, and one of his entourages is like obsessed with my friend. Oh, this is so corny, dude. I went into another back room, and I mean like back rooms, I just mean like bedrooms, like nothing was going on, but Party Next Door was there, and this guy introduced me to Party Next Door, and he was like, hey, I'm Party. And I was like, I too like to party, because I was like, you sound fucking stupid. And he was like, cool. He didn't think that joke was funny, but neither did I, in like having him introduce himself as Party. So is the other guy gonna be like, I'm next, and the other guy's Door? Like, you know what I mean? Is it like, I'm Party Next Door? Like, what do you mean? Like, just, that's not, you're saying that your real name is Party. Like, at least if you were like, I'm Party Next Door and PND, like, I don't know, but you're just like, I'm Party. And I was like, I too like to party. And then I met G-Eazy earlier that night, because I was like, I really want to meet him. And my friend was, or like this guy who, I don't know, like knew that, I don't know, he's like obsessed with me. He was like, oh, I'll introduce you to G. And I was like, okay, cool. And G-Eazy was like, hey, I'm Johnny Cash. And I was like, I'm June Carter. What the fuck do you say to shit like that? So I was like, I'm June Carter. And he was like, doubt it. Okay, well, whatever, you asshole. Like, I don't know. First of all, I don't know what that means. And I just like panicked, and I said something, and I thought it was witty because you're saying you're Johnny Cash. Okay, I'm June Carter. I'm the love of your life. And I mean, are we naming random celebrity couples? Like, what is going on here? They're all out of their mind. Anyways, long story short, we're in this back room. It's like 11 p.m., 11:30. And I remember it being 11:30, and I was like, oh my God, it legit feels like 1 a.m. Like, I mean, it had been such a long day for me. And I remember hearing G-Eazy talk about, he's like, are we going to Uncle's house or Unc's house or whatever? And I was like, me and my friend were like trying to listen. I mean, we were like sitting in their laps. So like we were there, you know, it wasn't like hard to eavesdrop, but they were like figuring out. Well, I was sitting in his like friend's lap. And then he was dating his high school girlfriend at the time or whatever, that off and on girl that he was dating forever, Devin. So she was sitting in his lap, and then my other girlfriend was sitting in this other guy's lap. The guy that I was sitting in, he was like, like he was like blackout.
Like in the living room or something?
No, we were like in like a side bedroom. The reason why I say Airbnb, because like the living room had pulled all the furniture out, but then there was like Airbnb furniture in the other rooms. Like there was just beds and like a dresser and like a mirror, but not like art and not like clothes. Like it was something like if you had to have like an Airbnb stage for guests to come, it was like the bare minimum. I don't know where I was. I was like, I'm not fucking drinking at this party. I don't know what spiked, you know? I mean, truly, I didn't have a drink there, and I did not have a drink at Diddy. So then he's like, where are we going to go for the after party? Where are we going to go for the after party? And long story short, I'm in a TMZ photo, baby. You can't tell that it's me because the shit is blackout, but I am in a TMZ photo. So then this guy is like, okay, so we're leaving, we're going to the after party, and like we're getting in the black Suburban, and we're crammed in there. I'm telling you, we're fucking crammed. It's me and my friend and the guy who is obsessed with my friend, G-Eazy, his girlfriend on and off at the time, multiple people. I don't know. We are fucking crammed. Let me tell you, I didn't get a seat. And let me also tell you, we were flying. I said, oh my God, I'm literally going to die in this car crash. Like I was scared for my life. That driver was flying down the mountains. And if you know anything about Malibu, it's windy. It's not the most windy road in the world, but it's enough. And especially at night, and especially when everybody's been drinking. And I feel like, I don't know if the driver was sober or not. I have no idea. But, you know, they were like, go faster, go faster. Oh my God. I obviously wasn't wearing a seatbelt. I was like on somebody's lap in the center of the console. And then my toe kept hitting G-Eazy because we were like this. And he was like, ew, your feet. And I was like, fuck off. Okay. You don't have to be so rude. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Okay. Like, anyway.
Like, why does he not have a better, bigger
didn't also say that I can't go, you know, but like I could go, like I'm hot, but whatever.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I'm just like, my toes were done. What do you mean? They were cute.
I'm surprised he didn't like have like a bigger.
Oh, you don't have two SUVs?
Or like a.
Oh, a limo. That would have been great. Yeah, it was just like a Suburban, like a normal, whatever the celebrity. So they have blackout windows, and there was a TMZ photo of me. Yeah, I'm like on the other side of that window, and G-Eazy and his girlfriend are like getting in. So like, but it was like at the party. So I don't know if the paparazzi were like outside. I don't know. Anyways, I didn't know where the fuck we were going. I just got in the car, and I was like, I'm going wherever these people are going. Okay. And so we literally pull up to Diddy's house in Beverly Hills, and there's a bouncer, like a big bouncer guy meeting us at the gate, and he opens the car gate, and he's like, he's waiting for people. It's like a tour. He's waiting for like the star bus. What's the stars that go around, the star tours that go around Beverly Hills? He's like waiting for everybody to like single file. And he's like, all right. He was really cool. He was nice. But he was like, all right, I'm just letting y'all know, like, no phones at all. If we see phones, we're going to confiscate them. Please keep them on your, like, in your bags, in your person. Like, no phones, no pictures. You know, Diddy doesn't like that, blah, blah, blah. Which now I'm like, I guess I know why. But also I was like, yeah, like, I mean, I guess I wouldn't want random strangers taking pictures in my house. Bitch, I was petrified. I was probably I was in a bathroom by myself. And I remember in the pool house, I went to the restroom, and his son was kind of living up there, like the older one. And he had just graduated from high school, and he had like a board. I was like, celebs, they're just like us. He had a board, like a collage of like all pictures of him, and had his friends sign it for his like graduation that came to his party. And I was like, I could for sure just take a picture in the bathroom, but I never did. I did not take one photo because I was fucking petrified. So I left my phone in my pocket, in my purse, and I just enjoyed the vibes of like, wow, this is so crazy. Like, where am I? And nobody was really giving a fuck or asking who I am or why I'm there, which I think is the most bizarre. So we walk into Diddy's house, and they're like straight to the back. Like, I obviously didn't get like a grand tour or anything, but we go straight to the back. His youngest son, what are their names? His youngest son and his friend were doing like bartender service, and they're like, anything that y'all, he was like, okay guys, like, I love this for G-Eazy, anything for his birthday, whatever you guys need, don't lift a finger, feel free to ask these two, you know, my son and his friend are interning for me, blah blah blah. Which I'm sure, like, you know, neighbor boy or like neighbor friend, you're friends with Sean P. Diddy Combs' son, like, yeah, get the knowledge from the best in the business, right? Guess what was there, lined up? Ciroc, all flavors, only Ciroc. There was like a few people, and there was a woman there, another Asian woman, who was carrying around a stuffed dog on her shoulder, like, and patting it. And it wasn't Cassie. And it was at the time that him and Cassie were dating. And I was like, that's weird. So I don't know about all that. And then, I mean, I met him. I got good vibes, but apparently my intuition fucking sucks. He was nice to me. He talked to me twice. He said, you have a cool vibe, you know, in a group of people. And then he like looked at me. He goes, you're really cool. What's your name? Oh, now I'm like, was he trying to scope me out? Oh, I don't know. And a group of people, he, you know, was like talking to everybody. And then he like looked at me and goes, hey, what's your name? Like, glad you're here. Like, let me know if you need anything, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I sure will. Talked to him twice that time. And then I asked him for coffee, because I was a fucking on one. I was blackout earlier, sobered up. You know, it had been a long day for moi. I wasn't really talking to anybody. It was like a weird group. You think these Hollywood parties are like, you know, and maybe they are. Maybe I'm at the wrong ones. Like I'm at the creepy ones. I don't know. But like, you know, you're thinking that they're going to be, I don't know, A-list, or you're going to like see somebody cool or like even make a friend. Like everybody's pretty standoffish. I just like stuck to myself. Again, I didn't drink anything. I just had the coffee and I went home at 2 and my friend stayed and then she got home at 6. So, you know, the strippers came back with us. I got into the pool because it was a pool party and I was actually wearing like a bathing suit, or at least a one-piece situation, like a bodysuit that could be a bathing suit. And yeah, I like went home at 2 and I was like, wow, what is my life? That was so amazing. Like when the fuck am I gonna be like at P. Diddy's house again, or like meeting my not idol at the time. I wouldn't say like G-Eazy was my idol, but I was like very obsessed with him at the time. And I literally remember a year before I was like, I'm gonna meet him. And I literally did within the year. So I just think your words have power and manifestation is power. And that's what I mean by not a lot of people had the same experience that I did in 10 years and 3. So I thought it was a cool story, but I thought it was a cool arm's length story. I believe Cassie, everything that she's saying, I believe is true. And, you know, I stand with victims. I believe her story and I think that we should rally and support her. And it was really brave for her to come forward with all of these counts. I think it was like 30 to 35 counts that she had against him, with dates, with receipts, with detailed, you know, explanations of like what happened. I'm wishing Cassie the best and I hope that this is another step in her healing process. Okay, last episode, I didn't finish one thought and I apologize for that. But I want to talk about now the Selling Sunset reunion just dropped this week and I watched it and headache to get through. You know, first of all, right out the gate, Brie is trying to blast Michael B. Jordan for being bad in bed when she's locked up as a sister wife. I mean, it's giving clout chaser. I just think, you know, that was such a low blow. She could have lied. They could have not asked that question, but they knew what they were doing and they're doing it for clout for Selling Sunset, because Selling Sunset is such a C show to me. Like, I just feel like it's a Netflix reality show. Okay. And Michael B. Jordan is like, not only is he hot and he's nice from, I think, what I've heard, but like, he's like an actual actor. And, you know, Brie is like a sister wife to Nick Cannon. The season was hard to get through and the reunion was hard to get through too. They talked about Nicole being homophobic because she responded to a comment. Now, I didn't see this because I don't really follow them, but on the reunion, they brought up that Nicole replied to a homophobic comment saying that, I hope that I don't see that lesbian on my screen again. By the way, you look really pretty. And Nicole said, thank you. I totally agree with Chelsea and Tan and Chriselle saying that you're like subconsciously endorsing that comment, saying that like, oh, thanks. Like, oh, I'm ignoring what you're saying about the lesbian on your screen, but you're endorsing that it's okay if you tell me that I look good. Like, you can keep that fucking comment. Absolutely not. No, absolutely no room for hate on anybody's page, my page, her page, like anybody's. I just, that would not fly with me. And I would never respond. Well, I would respond to somebody like that and be like, fuck off. Like, don't talk about my friend that way. But also it's like they're coworkers and they are real realtors. So I don't understand how this office dynamic is working, because I guess it's just for the show, because any other office dynamic, I feel like they would 100% be fired, both of them, because I feel like no broker is going to take on that liability for that drama. I don't know. Nicole, I mean, mean girl. I'm just like, why is she there? Amanza, I hate her name. I'm sorry. Could it just be Amanda? Amanza acknowledged that her fashion was really bad this year. I didn't hate it. I think all of their fashion looks terrible all the time. So really, I didn't notice. But the Chanel basketball was like probably the worst. And the fact that she said that when she bought it, she thought it was a purse. Okay, maybe she bought it online and then she realized that it wasn't a purse. I'm hoping that was the case, because had you bought that in person and then you really thought that was a purse, like, what are you doing? Yeah, and then you wear it. I like Amanza. I think she's cool. She's definitely like the peacemaker as well as Mary. So I think that her energy is is warranted. People are saying that she's not putting enough energy into the season. Now, I will say that when she was doing the consultation for G's studio with her, Chriselle, and G, and they were like, this space is dope, and like they always have to make songs and they always have to make their clients go into the bathtub or the shower or like scream in the closet. Like that doesn't really happen. Like, could you imagine if like clients, I'm just like, get in the shower, you can fit 26 people in here and I better be one of them. Like, what's going on? That's weird to me. I feel like that's so uncomfy. I really hope they do it for the show. That's weird to me. I feel like that's so uncomfy. I really hope they do it for the show. When Heather was trying to hook Brie up with Josh Richards, who is 20 years old, and then he goes into like the theater and he's like, is this soundproof? She's like, I don't know, let's check. And then Heather was like, what's all that screaming? And she's like, just testing out to see if he can handle me. It's giving sexual harassment. Like, absolutely fucking not. Oh my God. And then Brie was like, I've definitely fucked somebody for a sale on the lie detector test on the reunion. Okay, bad. I think that's very common in LA. They'll pay you like $10,000-$20,000 to like film your house. I think that's more so when they go and tour houses. They're like, oh, I have this listing coming up. No, you fucking don't. Or I'm touring this for a client. No, you're not. No one does that. I mean, some people do that, but don't you just send them a video? Like, how are you going to tour this for a client when you cannot make the decision for your client? It's giving, yeah, and they're just walking around. They're not even like, they're like, so what, you're going to go back and tell your client to be like, yeah, this is good, you should buy it. Then if something happens, you're getting sued. Like, no. Cassandra, the new girl that pops up and is like trying to have like a beef with Brie, like such an actress. She is a twin sister and they lived with Tom. What a crossover that we needed. She lived with Tom Sandoval back in the day, her and her twin sister, and they used to be Playboy models. So that's where we know her from. I'm not sure what this fake beef is about, but whatever. Okay, this is also something that's like so fake. It's like when Chriselle, like when season 1 or 2, when like when Chriselle's offer for her client was accepted and she was like, we've closed escrow. Like, no, you haven't. Your offer was just accepted. Like, that doesn't really mean anything. And closed escrow means that you closed on the house. Anyways, it's giving wrong terminology. So Tan asked her if she's following G around on tour, that if she is still taking listings and like doing real estate. And she's like, well, I'm not taking listings at this time because it would be hard to do while G is on tour and I'm supporting them. But she said that she's working with buyers because the MLS can go anywhere because it's a .com. Okay, wrong. I would 1,000% take a listing over buyers, because how are you going to show the buyer? How are you going to tour with the buyer? How are you going to show up to inspections? How are you going to show up to closing with the buyer? For the listing, you have the listing and then you hire an assistant to do all the stuff for you. As a buyer's agent, I mean, I guess you can still hire an assistant, but like, how are you going to be showing? You're going to get the listing agent to show for you. Lazy. I thought it was really sad that, Mary and Romaine had a miscarriage. I know that, they desperately wanted to have a child together, and Mary, was a young mom and she really wants a child with Romaine. And right now they have another dog that hopefully filled the void. I know it's not the same void as a child, but, I appreciate her being so open about her struggle and her story. I think that's really, brave to share with the viewers and to be open to any type of scrutiny. I don't know how there could possibly be scrutiny, but to open yourself up like that is very brave. And, I really hope that, Mary and Romaine's dream of having a family of their own, I do hope it comes true in whatever capacity works for them. So I appreciate them being raw and honest about that. Okay, really quick, I want to talk about The Crown, because the first 4 episodes of The Crown season 6 are out, and it's the last season. I'm so sad about it. Season 1, if you were there, it was kind of a struggle. It was really hard to get through, but season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are way better. And also in the later seasons, like season 3 through 6 or 4 through 6 are like really good. I don't want to give too much away. I just want to make this note saying that I remember when The Crown first came out, like season 1, Meghan and Harry, actually all the royals, but like Meghan and Harry specifically, made like a big fuss about how the crown was like inaccurate, or maybe it was like Harry and William like made a fuss about how the crown was inaccurate and they didn't think it was very kosher, and they were upset that they were feeling like exploited, like blah blah blah, which I think is funny because like Meghan and Harry have made their whole brand off of exploiting the royal family, and Harry breaking free. And also they signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix and Spotify, thinking that they were going to get the juice of the royal family, and they didn't, because Meghan just wanted to talk about God knows what on her Archetypes podcast that was boring, that nobody subscribed to, that Spotify canceled, and nobody watched her documentary. Like, I watched the first half of the document. It was really hard to get through, and I really am truly like unbiased when it comes to Meghan and Harry. I have strong opinions, but I can also validate when I feel like they've done good work, or when I feel they're authentic, or whatever it is. I don't hate Meghan and Harry by any means, and I don't hate William and Kate by any means. I don't love one more than the other. I just think Meghan and Harry have been complete hypocrites, and maybe I'm missing the message of what they are, but I am a self-proclaimed royalist, so I know a lot about the royals. If you want me to do a whole shot episode, which is like a mini episode about it, and share my thoughts, I definitely will. But I just thought that that was really funny and ironic, because you're getting mad at Netflix and you wanted to sue Netflix for doing The Crown, but yet you signed a multi-million-dollar deal for Netflix to exploit your family. It's giving hypocrite. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode. You know, I really loved having you. I love talking about all these fun topics. If you have anything to respond to, I would love to hear your feedbacks, comments, concerns, questions. You can email coffeemeetsvodkapod@gmail.com. You can DM me at coffee.meets.vodka on Instagram and TikTok. If you wanted to donate to the show, like I said, it's at the link tree in my Instagram bio. The donation link, it says support the show. You can donate amount that's already there, or you can customize your own. Please feel free to share the show with your friends, colleagues, share it online with social media, tag me. I would really appreciate it. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good week. Bye.